5 things you don't need to fork out for in the garden. We have all succumbed to pricey plants in garden centres, and you know, they cost that money often because of the work that's gone into them, so keep on buying them. But gardening doesn't have to be expensive. Either buy yourself some seed packets, they cost you pennies, or maybe you've got a friend or neighbour who can let you collect seed from their garden, and we've got videos on how to do that on the channel, so you can make sure you collect it properly and make sure it's viable. But you can grow from seed, and you can propagate from plants, either your own or maybe something from a bargain bin in the garden centre, or from a friend or neighbour's garden, though don't pinch it, make sure they give it to you. That means that gardening can actually be completely free or incredibly inexpensive, so it doesn't have to be an expensive endeavour. Take a stroll through any garden centre and there are tons of tempting, shiny new tools. But let's face it, actually, sometimes the older tools were better made, and a fork is a fork. A border spade is a border spade. So actually, if you find yourself a flea market or even a car boot, you may be able to pick up some great old tools for a fraction of the price of buying them new, and they're basically going to do the same job. It's great to have water in the garden, wonderful for wildlife, but pond liner is pricey. Those moulds you get for ponds, they can set you back a few bob as well. But the important thing is to have some water in the garden. It doesn't have to be a vast expanse of water. It doesn't have to be a lake in your garden you can row across, or even a huge wildlife pond. Even an upturned dustbin lid will do the trick, and that's hardly any money at all. So you can put that in with minimal effort, minimal expense. Just make sure that you've got means via gravel or bits of wood or stones so that any critter that falls in can get out, and you're bringing all the benefit of a pond to your garden for hardly any money. You may only have a window box, but if your plot is any bigger than a postage stamp, the likelihood is you're going to want to go up the garden path. And again, any garden centre or DIY store has tons of paving options, but you don't have to pave your paths with gold or even wonderful flagstones. These are old bricks, which obviously cost some money, but not necessarily expensive as the shiny new variety. Or maybe you could have a wood chip path, or if you've got a grassy garden, just mow paths through longer meadowy grass. That doesn't cost much at all, or anything really, and you've still got the effect and a path to weave through your garden and lead you on down it. Terracotta is a wonderful thing. There are all kinds of benefits, not least that it's so attractive and covered in algae and moss, and there are tons of terracotta pots all around the camera where I bought too many plants and had to put them in pots. But actually, there are plenty of great plastic pots out there nowadays. They're not too ugly. So you could start off with those and maybe progress to terracotta. And if you really want to recycle, upcycle in fact, and save yourself some money, old boots, I've done that before, they can make containers. Old beaten up saucepans, maybe you got something stuck to the bottom of it. As long as you drill some holes into the bottom of those makeshift planters so that your plants have plenty of drainage, then anything can make a pot and be basically free. Their boxes, or a tiny, tiny postage means any bigger than a postage stamp, you're probably going to want them.